everybody has the right to have freedom of association. A social club is an association of members, of adult citizens who organise the cultivation of a limited amount of cannabis to satisfy their personal needs. Cannabis social clubs are legally registered associations and open dialogue with authorities.
In Belgium, the first cannabis social club is shut down. With excessive force, the Belgian police attacked the club, raiding 18 homes and making 3 arrests. Among them is Mano Moreau, a famous Belgian stand-up performer.
Now, I wanted to stay a kid forever, so I sold my soul to Santa.
All stand accused of dealing in cannabis and money laundering as members of a criminal organization. 2 members were finally released after 2 weeks imprisonment. The third is still behind bars.
Els,
Yeah.
one of the things of a social club as we know it, it's like the members. What happened to you recent couple of weeks?
Well, after 11 years of existence, at 6 o'clock in the morning, the police came invading my house, and along with 18 other members of Trek to Plant, so we've been sent to jail with 3 of us for 3 weeks. Yeah. And then after a lot of things, and after in beroep, go in beroep.
Appeal?
Yeah. And then we were let go without any conditions. So, yeah.
Okay.
And it moved a lot of things in Belgium. Now they start talking about it. Now, finally, the governments, the the parties, they start talking about it. Finally, so.
You need to go through hell.
We need to go through hell to get something finally in movement. So it's double. Sometimes you're scared, and then you're very happy because things happen. So it's constantly. A roller coaster.
Because Martin, maybe you are the best person to sort of shortly explain to anyone who doesn't know the famous or what a social club is originally, as it's supposed to be. Maybe you can explain best.
No, but they were created from the idea that if you can cultivate for yourself, because in Spain consumption never was a crime, and in the theory cultivating for yourself was not a crime, and it was possible to buy drugs together and not to do a crime. So we decided on that base to build a collective cultivation in a closed circuit, non-profit, and they are associations. They are registered like normal associations. You must be cannabis user to be a member, or if not, you must be diagnosed for some illness that where cannabis has been proved to be effective, and you pay a fee. You pay your part of the expenses of the cultivation, and you take your part. You declare how much are you taking from that, and you pay proportionally to the participation you have in the crop, and that was the origin. After that, there was a boom, and they born a lot of huge clubs with thousands of members on a commercial base that are real coffee shops. So we are defending a model where clubs with a non-profit basis and with clear rules have a space, and another space for coffee shops, because we think that they satisfy different needs from different people, and both are necessary. And that's the situation. In Spain, we had a confusion because the only way were clubs, and now we are trying to clarify the situation and separate fields.
And Greg, the starting of a social club in Brighton, how is it going to work down there?
Well, in the UK, we've already got like around 100 cannabis social clubs as it is. They are, because we don't have the right to consume in public. We don't really have the right to consume. Really, it's not against the law, but if you've got it in your possession, to consume, it's in your possession, and possession is against the law. So what we have is like pop-up cannabis social clubs where people will People have come together in their local communities, started cannabis social clubs, and they hold like weekly or monthly events where they will get together and share consumption. Within that membership, people will grow in small groups together, like based on the model that Martin was speaking about. We have a tag plant collective model, so if people want to grow plants, we give them the advice to grow up to 9 plants within one space as a shared collective. Because those plant limits are given as a guidance by the Sentencing Council as not commercial, so we term that as personal. So that's how people generally get hold of their cannabis at a non-profit and fair trade price, and then the events are, or the socialising happens sort of like once a month or once a week, depending on where the club is in the country and what their conditions are, because some police crime commissioners, some policing authorities are a little bit more lax than other ones. Like up in Durham, they've not decriminalised it, but they've said we're not going after personal consumers, we're not going after people that are growing it themselves, we're not going after people that are medical users, unless we get told that this person's a problem in our street or causing a problem, and then we'll go and deal with it. But they don't want to take people to court. That police force have actually been been awarded as the best police force in the country. The only force that have ever got an excellent, outstanding mark of approval for the last 2 or 3 years in a row since they've adopted and brought out this police, cannabis policy. 4 or 5 others around the country, police forces have turned around and gone, that's a good idea, that's saving us loads of money, saving us loads of time, we'll go down that model.
So it's changing.
We're looking to exploit like the limits that they put out. That you from NCOD, he was a big advocate of saying any limits that they've given you in your guidance, go for them.
Okay. And Rosario, because it sounds like a sort of an easy thing. It sounds like an easy thing to start off a social club. How easy is it to start a social club here in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, in an official, normal way?
Yeah, it's not easy at all. It's very, very difficult. Let's put it on the table. And, we got inspired by you anchored the Code of Conduct, the Belgian model, the Spanish non-profit model. And we tried to put it in place here in the Netherlands. And what we did is, the first step we did is to get in contact with the public prosecutor, asking if what we were going to do, namely putting plans of single members together in the same location in order to grow for the members, for personal use, non-profit, would that be acceptable within the Dutch tolerance system? Well, we got a very straight answer that as soon as you put plans together and you organize the growing on large scale, you're not growing for your personal use, but you're growing professionally. And that's against the Opium Law in the Netherlands. They said, well, we are not going, since you're not for profit, we're not going to go after you, but if we come across one of your growing location, that would be busted and plans would be confiscated.
But now things have changed recently, as far as I get it. And what has changed specifically?
Well, what has changed is that we have tried to find another way, let's say looking into a possible legal loophole, but also according to our objective that's going to have a controlled growing in order to guarantee product quality. And you can do that within a scientific research setting. Controlled growing, and you can measure the effects, the experiences of this way of growing on the users, on the members of the club. We have 2 professors of the University of Amsterdam. They have outlined a research plan, and we are going to apply for an exemption from the Opium Law that's granted only for scientific purposes. Okay. The only thing that can be an obstacle is so far these exemptions has only been interpreted for medicinal purposes. We take it broader. The scientific research is not just developing medicines, but it's also doing sociological, but product quality research, and the experiences, the effects of these controlled product on the members of the club.
Okay. Martin, if I listen to all this, man, I think, boof. To start a social club, you have to do a lot of things. But what is, in your opinion, the biggest threat for social clubs? Sorry?
Sorry, ik moet echt doorgaan, maar anders gaat de bus door zonder mij.
Even Els voor een applaus voor die man. She's leaving too soon. Anyway.
The main struggle is to convince society that we are not a risk. Cannabis, we must change the social perception about cannabis. I think that's a priority. Because if not, we always will be put in the corner. And in Spain, it was the key point to have some possibilities now to have a global regulation on cannabis, is that we convinced the rest of the society that we were normal. And I think that battle for visibility is the main struggle, not for clubs, but for cannabis users to be accepted like normal people in society, that people that don't need special rules, need no more prohibitions than the others. And about the concrete development of the clubs, it depends on each country. In Spain, the question is that we are neighbors of Morocco. There's a long tradition of cannabis use in Spain. And in Spanish society, it always has been not clearly accepted but tolerated. Yeah. And when a little door was open, the main struggle was try not to provoke a general alarm, and it happened. We had an alarm because it was too early to do some things. Yeah. But in some other countries, the struggles can be different. But we must have a clear picture about where are we going to, and have the clear idea that the main battle is opinion battle. It's a battle inside heads, not in politics. And
in cooperation, working together. Is there a way, is there a tool, is there an organization whereby social clubs gain knowledge, handing over knowledge to each other?
We get contacted by people from all over, like Europe and the world. Like, can you help us, install a cannabis social club model like this? And we say, look, this is where we've looked around. This isn't something we've invented. This is literally, we've gone, right, well, that's what they're doing there because they've got that situation. We're doing, that's what they did there because they've got that situation. I went over to California, Oregon, Washington.
You've been all over those places.
Yeah,
you've seen California. You've been looking all around.
So, and then I've gone around Europe and I've gone, right, well, they've done that because they've got those situations. Like, what are our situations in the UK and how can we exploit them? And we literally, it's not even loopholes. You've got to create the loopholes yourself, really, and force society to look at it in a different light than they have. Like 6 years ago, we didn't have cannabis social clubs in the UK. We didn't have coffee shops. We've had a few attempts at them, but they were sort of like, I won't say flash in the pans, but when they were done, people didn't retaliate and go, oh, that got shut down, I'm going to open another one, I'm going to open one, I'm going to open one, which was kind of the situation in Spain. When people saw that someone was doing it, they mimicked it and they replicated that because they wanted to do the same kind of thing. Whereas we've got to that level now in the UK, people have gone, all right, there's these clubs, they're doing these events, they're bringing people together, they're making fair trade cost cannabis. Yeah. That changes the mindset of the cannabis consumer, and then you're encouraging them to go out and put that message out into the society. When people are coming across cannabis consumers, they're coming across these cannabis consumers now, and it's not the, oh yeah, what have you got, I'll smoke that. It's, oh, how can I help you as well? Like, what can I educate you about as a consumer, or how can I help you understand why we as cannabis consumers need cannabis social clubs? Not the fact that there's, like, our slogan with the UK CSE is there's more to cannabis than just availability, because it's not just about like, oh, have you got any weed, what can I smoke? It's like, what kind of cannabis is it, how is it growing, who grew it? Like in the UK we face the problem of huge commercial grows in domestic houses where they, like Vietnamese gangs, they'll lock a young kid that's been trafficked into the country. He might be locked up for 3 years, never sees sunlight because all the windows are blacked out. He's got a box of super noodles to live on, and that's his life. And people are buying that cannabis and thinking like, oh, this is all right because I've got access to it, and not thinking, oh, actually, I'm funding, slavery. I'm actually damaging someone's life. And the people who aren't involved with cannabis don't really know that that stuff's going on. And it's I think, as our duty as cannabis consumers to not only inform the public about it and cannabis consumers, but do something to rectify it. Put something on the table to say, this is the way we can sort it out for consumers, but the rest of society, so we can fit in and be normal. Because we shouldn't have to hide and be like, it shouldn't be a set of rules. Oh, you're a cannabis consumer, so this is the way you should behave. Anyone should be able to come and access that from a cannabis social club or a different outlet. Times are evolving, so we have to move with them.
All right, great. And Rosaria, what do you think of the maybe also there's some criticism from the coffee shop world? What do you say about these people who are saying like the social club is sort of a competitor?
I think that's the most wrong way to look at things, because I mean, we are all fighting for a legal status, and we think probably that we have better chance to get it as a cannabis social clubs than coffee shops that have a baggage, and the baggage is 40 years within a semi-legal system. So the time you need to put it right, these 40 years of an irregular situation with a back door, tolerated front door, and well, if you want to achieve the result to get for consumers a legal situation, I think we have an advantage. Yeah. And they shouldn't look at us as competitors. Perhaps they could also improve their situation if they could cooperate with us.
Okay. And Martin, sort of rounding up as well, but Els left from Trek to Plant, but you've been in the same situation. Police arresting you. I mean, from a personal note, I mean, to make also clear to these people, these men and women are fighting for something that is costing them also very much their private lives. Can you say something out of experience in that sense? What it does to humankind if you are suddenly arrested by police and so on, while you think you're a good man?
Yeah, but it's hard, but it's great when after being arrested for 3 days, isolated alone in a cell, you go out 2 o'clock in the early morning. I don't know. I don't remember the hour. I've lost the sense of time. Yeah. And when I arrived to the court to declare in front of the judge, very very late in the night, the policeman came to me and said, "Hey, your friends are waiting for you from the morning, from early morning. Wow. There are some hundreds there. Now there are less, but you have good friends there, and it's hard, but it's great, because you know that you are not alone and that you are not a criminal. You are just fighting for some rational thing that should be like that, to have a more, I don't know how to say, the most just society." And the worst part is that fighting with justice, especially in Spain, is a never-ending story. Are years and years and years, and your life is they're pinned up. But it's great because it's a very beautiful experience. I met a lot of beautiful people, and I want to do a special tribute to my friend Joop that used to be here every year, and I met his wife Beatriz here, and I saw his picture there in the wall, and he was a big man, and knowing that kind of people is a great experience, and I feel rich. So thank you, Joop.
I think this is the most beautiful ending of this part of the debate, to memorize Joop Omen, who indeed was so important for the whole movement. Rosario, Martin, Greg, thank you very much.